my creatives, and welcome to another video. So today I'm here to share this new just released kit by VectoriaDesigns Vintage Birds, and I'm going to make a folio with you. So this will be a folio tutorial. First of all, we are going to start with an A4 sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and 7/1/4 of an inch. Then you're going to turn your paper and you're going to score at 4 3/4 of an inch, 5 1/4 of an inch, and then on 10 inches and on 10.5 inch. So if this went too fast, I will put the measurements down below in the description box for you. And I use an A4 sheet of cardstock, but you can also use something that is, well, it only needs to be bigger than 10.5 inches. So you can also do a 12 inch. Now I'm going to cut off some excess pieces, as you can see here, to create my folio, and I'm going to cut that on the scoring line. I'm going to remove these pieces for my folio. And then I have these two nice flaps. On the other side, I'm also going to cut off a fairly big piece because I do not need that. And I'm also going to cut out that little rectangle over there because I also don't need that. And that is the base of your folio. So I'm also going to write down the measurements for you on this folio in this video. But I also have this extra little piece that is 6 3/4 by an inch and 4 3/4 by an inch, and I score that on 1/2 inch, as you can see here, and that will be a flipping up thingy. I'm also going to create a side flip, and that piece is going to be 6 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches or 3.5 inches by 6 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. So I have 1/2 inch of a gluing flap, and I just used the scrap piece of the cardstock that I used before in another project. But here I'm going to show you what the measurements are. So the journal pages of this kit will fit into these folio panels. So we have a flap of 1 1/8 of an inch, 4 3/4 of an inch, and then the whole booklet or the folio will be 6 3/4 of an inch. So yeah, I wrote down these measurements for you so you could check it out and put it on pause for yourself so you can check it out, but you do not need it. I even recommend you do not do this because I had to do some fixing later on with my idea. First of all, we're going to take one of the flaps and I'm going to glue that down on the side, and then the other flap we are going to glue on that little piece that we scored at the beginning, which was the 1/2 inch scoring line. So it stands up really nice, and that helps with it. When you're putting things inside, it doesn't have this weird bulking up thing, but there is room for you to put things inside. So I'm going to use this folio as a snail mail. I'm going to send this to someone else, but of course you can use it for yourself and create more flips and flaps, if whatever you would like. But you can also turn this into a little junk journal folio. It's just a little tutorial to show you how you can do this. So I wasn't sure yet on what I wanted to do for that bottom flap. Later on I'm going to do something very, very cool. I didn't know I was going to do that when I made this, but it's going to be very cool. So I'm highly recommend you stick around for this tutorial and to see how I finish this up. As you see, I have this beautiful kit from VectoriaDesigns, and I'm going to use the journal pages that are made for a 7 1/4 of an inch journal, and this is a mega project pack. As you saw in the beginning of the video, there is a lot in this pack, and they also always come with a tutorial and everything for you to create a junk journal, which is very, very nice. And this released today, so you can get this right now. I will leave a link for you down below in the description box. There will also be a free gift for you for this collection. I will also leave a link to that in the description box, so check that out down below in the description box. I highly recommend you do, because it is amazing. I absolutely love their designs, and it's such a great company to work with. And well, you saw me distress everything with some distress oxide, and I'm going to create my front and back covers. I'm using one of the journal pages to do so. So I thought it was one really, really nice front cover, and I'm just gluing that down. I'm also going to glue the other side on the back. So it's also a very easy to make folio because you do not have to do a lot of decorating. Of course, you can do everything you want, you can layer on top of this, but it can also be a very nice quick project, which for me is very, very good because I'm very much behind with my snail mail and sending out things, and I like to create beautiful things, but I don't have a lot of time at the moment with me freelancing and starting my own business. So now I'm going to start on the inside, and this is where I figured out I shouldn't have written down the spines of this folio, but no problem at all. I can fix that, and maybe I even like this better, but it's good if you have the option. I needed to do this right now, but it's better if you have the option. So I'm going to cut my paper the exact same size as the journal pages, and then I'm going to cut it at 2 inches, I believe, or 3 inches. Oh no, 1.5 inch, to make sure that I have enough gluing space and real estate around the scoring line to fold it and that the paper doesn't curl up. So these are all the same measurements as my papers because I want to have them the same size. And now I'm going to grab distress oxide. I'm also going to distress these edges. You only need to do the top and the bottom because the other side will be covered under the papers of the journal pages. Now I'm going to glue them down, and then you will exactly see what I mean. So in the middle of this, there is the spine or the scoring line of the folio. So I have just a little bit of real estate on both sides to put my other paper on. So it prevents that the paper will curl up once you are going to fold it. So I'm just going to cover that up, and now you do not see my writing anymore. It was just a silly mistake because I was thinking about, I need to put these things down for you so you can see what the measurements are. And then I didn't think of finishing my project, of course. Now I'm going to glue down the panels. And now you will not see anything of my writing anymore, and the papers are the same size as my panels, and it just looks like a really nice strip of paper going on. It would also be very nice if you wouldn't do that and you have the very nice craft colored cardstock there, but in my case I had to cover that up. So the little flap is 3 inches, and I'm going to cut this paper at 2 3/4 of an inch because I like to have 1 inch or 1/8 of an inch around the sides to show a little bit of the craft paper. You don't have to do it. You can cover it completely if you would like, but I like to show this kind of paper. I think it gives a little bit more extra texture to it. I very much enjoy it. So now I'm going to refold everything, and it just turned out perfectly, and the folds were perfectly, no paper coming up, which is very, very nice. And then I am going to decide what I'm going to do on that little inside flap. So this is one of the pattern papers, and it had this strip, and it just fit perfectly over there. So I made a little mark with my pencil, and now I'm going to add a little bit of distress oxide as well on this strip, and I'm going to glue that down on the inside little flap. That flap will be the closure flap, and I'm also going to show you a fun little closure that I did with this little flap later on in the video. But I thought it was really fun. I did turn it around quickly because I thought the green on green was a little bit too green, so I wanted to have the orange or yellow flowers there. Now I'm going to create the journal pages or the paper panels for the inside flap, and these are a little bit shorter than the journal pages, so I have to cut off a little bit of the pages, but that is no problem at all. If you wouldn't know it, you wouldn't see it. I still needed to cut them a little bit shorter, but that's no problem at all. They're just beautiful pages, and it doesn't really matter if you take off a little bit of the design, they still look amazing. So I'm going to add, of course, distress oxide on everything. I'm going to glue this down on the flap as well, so I instantly have this beautiful page. And my idea was that the recipient could do whatever they wanted with this little folio. They can add to it if they would like, but also leave it as is. And I'm also going to stick this on the inside. It's just a beautiful, beautiful kit with beautiful, beautiful papers. I very, very much enjoyed working with this one. Then I saw that we also have 5-inch journal sized pages, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I would create a pocket out of one of these pages? So I took one of the pages for the 5-inch journal, which is an adorable size. I think I'm going to create such a small journal and work in it. That would be a whole new challenge. And I'm going to put that on that flap that was still left over. So I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter to make sure that the paper will fall inside. So it's more of a gluing flap. And I'm also going to create these triangles to make sure that it will not bulk up and fits in nicely. And I'm going to put this as a pocket over there. But then I figured out if I would flip it, you would see the design upside down. So I decided to cut the papers in half and then glue it up the right way, up or down. I'm just going to use this flap piece to glue this first panel on. And then I will just put glue on 3 sides of that panel to put the other piece on. And that way I have a very cute little pocket over there with one of the journal pages. And I'm going to grab half a circle punch later on to punch out a little bit of half a circle, because I really missed something there. You couldn't really see it was a pocket, in my opinion. So now I'm going to take one of the other pattern papers that also had this beautiful strip, and I'm going to use this on the outside flap for the closing flap, and I'm going to cut that to the same size as I did on the inside. So for everything I made sure that I would have 1/8 of an inch around the piece of paper to show a little bit of the craft cardstock, and I'm going to glue that down as well. And I very much like this. I also really love the pattern papers in this junk journal kit. Now we have one piece left over, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but then I found some of these journal pages, and you can use them as journal pages, but as you see, I do not use them as journal pages in a journal. I use them as pattern papers that I can decorate with. So with this journal page, I am going to cut it to size. I believe I'm going to cut it 2 or 3 inches to 3/4 of an inch. And now I have this beautiful panel with pattern paper, so you do not have to use them in a junk journal or as junk journal pages. You can do whatever you want with them. That's the beauty of these wonderful kits. So I'm going to stick that down, and now I have this beautiful bird sitting over there. This was just a really fun little kit to work with. So now the base of my folio is done. Here you see that I'm going to add some more distress oxide. And now I'm going to create my closure. So I decided to eyeball this and put in the middle of this closing flap a hole because I wanted to put in an eyelet. I haven't used my crocodile a lot since I got it, so I thought it was a perfect project to use my crocodile. And you do not have to do this, of course. You can make a closure however you want, but I really liked doing it this way. And I'm going to thread some lace through there later on. I also stuck my own sticker on the back, which is funny because I changed my logo again, so these stickers are already old again, but I will get some new ones. As I said, this was going to be a snail mail, so I like to put the person's name on the front. I just spelled out hello right now because I will send this out after release day, so I do not want the recipient to know for which recipient it is. And this is where I cut out half a circle out of the pocket because I thought it wasn't really quite obvious that it was a pocket. I decided to add some washi tape in there, so I have this washi tape with the postage stamps and some neutral ones that I thought would fit this mail, and I'm putting that in there as a little goodie for the recipient to use. And I'm going to decorate my other pieces, and I'm also going to create some more pockets because of course in a snail mail you also need a letter. And I found this ephemera piece which looked like an envelope and with some postage stamps, and I thought that is a perfect tuck spot or pocket for my letter. So I'm going to glue this down with 2 sides, and then I will decorate this a little bit with some words. And these words are also part of the kit, but I'm going to spell out read me. First of all, I'm going to add some washi tape to create a little bit more of a collage and a little bit more of a layering look, which you know I like to do. And I'm going to spell out read me because I'm going to put my letter in this pocket. So this kit also comes with writing papers and envelopes. So I decided to grab 2 of the writing papers for this particular mail. And I'm just going to create a little washi collage on top to make it a little bit more my own. But still that you see the beautiful designs of these writing papers. I'm just using these 3 washi tapes for that. And now I'm going to fold my paper to make it fit into the pocket. So I thought I had to fold it 3 ways or 2 ways, but I didn't. So this was a perfect size for my letter, which I very much enjoyed. So this is where my letter will go. I'm going to take out my letter because I always keep in mind when the person takes out everything that it still looks nice. So I'm going to create a little bit of a collage over there with some washi tape and one of the labels. And then I will add some word stickers. I think I use a Tim Holtz clippings book. Yes, I do. I'm going to use some word stickers in there. I love the Tim Holtz clippings book. I'm very happy that I bought it. I'm also going to use some washi dots, of course, to finish it off. And then this page is almost done. I'm going to add something later on. Now on to another page. So I, of course, also want to include some goodies for the person to use. And I'm going to use this advert ephemera piece from the kit to create another tuck spot. So I'm gluing 2 sides down and I'm going to put some goodies in there. I'm going to add some goodies from this kit. I like to send out things that I also used in the project itself because sometimes people see something in the project that you make and they would like it for themselves. So that is something that I like to do. So I decided to send out some of these ephemera pieces in this beautiful floral bag. I'm going to stick that in there, but first I need to let it dry a little bit more before I do so. Closing up this little baggie, and I'm going to put that there so it still looks fun when the person removes the little bag. I'm just going to add some more of these word stickers to this piece and some washi dots because really it doesn't need anything else. You can do whatever you want, but I thought I didn't want to take away of the beautiful design. I just wanted to add a little bit of my own. I'm also going to add some of these word stickers on that panel that is flipping up. And I'm also going to add some washi dots to that. I don't know, I sometimes have trouble with covering up these beautiful images and designs. So I really want them to, you know, be the showcase of this project. And I very much enjoy working with them. Moving on to another piece, I am going to decorate that big middle piece, so that will be just a decorational page, just something pretty to look at. And I found that I'm moving all around now because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but I found the big bird piece that I'm going to use. First of all, I'm also going to add some more clippings and some more washi dots on my flip out pockets to finish that off, because I wasn't really sure on how I wanted to approach this because I had some trouble with covering things up. But it's never wrong to cover things up because not everything has to be shown to be pretty, right? So I just left it there for a little bit, moved on to the inside flap, and that will also be a decorational piece. So I forgot to distress my edges, so I peeled it up very fast before the glue could dry. I'm going to add this tag as well. I'm going to punch a hole in it and add some more of that thread in there. I do not like tags to be without because it feels unfinished to me. I don't know what it is. It feels very unfinished. So I always add a little bit of twine, or in this case it's a pinkish embroidery thread. I'm going to stick that down on my pocket. But first, a little bit more washi tape to create some depth and collage. I really recommend washi tape for this. It's just such a fun little thing to have in your stash, and so versatile. You can use it for a lot of things. So yeah, washi tapes is definitely one of my favorite things to have, especially neutral ones or the grid ones. They can go with everything. I'm grabbing some more of these clippings, and one says Learning to Fly, which I thought was very appropriate for this kit, Vintage Birds. And now moving back to that big panel piece. So I found some pieces that I could use to layer my big bird up with. So I didn't want to disrupt the swan and the flower part. So I found the perfect pieces to create this collage and some tickets. With collage, it's also seeing if you have bigger and smaller pieces. So as you can see, I have a big piece, a small piece, and then a focal image. And I also put down a label for my quote. That will create a lot of depth if you go for bigger pieces and smaller pieces. If you can see that in all of my collages, that is something that I do. And of course I'm going to add some more washi dots around this bird in this orange tone. So I'm switching between several colors of washi dots for this project. Some light brown, some orangey ones, because I think that would fit. Now I'm going to my front cover, and I also decided my front cover needs some washi dots, and you see that space between underneath hello is still open, because that is where I'm going to put the name of the recipient in brown alpha stickers. On the back I'm also going to add some washi dots to make it a little bit more of my own, but I'm not going to do a lot to the back. I usually don't do a lot to the back of my projects. I usually use that as a place for the paper to shine that I used. Now I'm using one of the ephemera pieces that came with the kit to create another little pocket, and I'm going to glue that down as well on two sides, and I'm going to add some washi dots in there, of course. I love to send out things that I used to the recipient, and as I love washi dots a lot, I want to share that with my recipient. And I just finished that off with a little washi collage. Now on the inside it was still a little bit empty, so I was looking through the embellishments and I found this flower piece that was also already in this kit, and I thought I would finish that off. And I'm also going to add some washi tape on the top to create a little bit of a collage. Back to that first panel, it needed some washi dots of course. And then I am going to check if I want to add something else. So I thought, well, here there are no washi dots yet on this pocket, so it needs washi dots. And now I'm figuring out what I want to do with the closure. So I found this lace in my stash. I have had this for a very, very long time. But I'm going to use that to make a closure, and I'm just cutting it off and making a bow so it will be safely closed when I ship this out to the recipient. Also, I like to create closures for my snail mails because it feels like a little gift. I don't know, if you have something like this closed, it feels like a little gift. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the envelope, of course, and I like my envelopes to be matching with my project, so I took one of the journal pages to cover my envelope with. As you can see, it's a little bit short, but washi tape to the rescue. I just line my envelopes with washi tape. I do this a lot also because it makes them a little bit more sturdy, but in this case I could cover up that the paper was a little bit too short. I'm also cutting off the excess paper right now and the excess washi tape, but I'm going to do this on all sides. So I stick it down and then I flip my paper around or my envelope and stick it on the back, and I'm going to cut off the excess. I'm going to do this for all the sides of this envelope. It looks pretty, but it also helps a little bit for the sturdiness. Now I went into the ephemera stash again and I found this beautiful card that I wanted to use on this page. So now it is not a journal page, but just a beautiful cover page or pattern paper. I'm just adding my little own thing to it with some washi tape and this beautiful ephemera piece. I'm also going to add some more of that postal stamp washi tape, of course more washi dots, because well, there were no washi dots on this yet, so there had to be washi dots. And on the right side I will write down the address of the recipient, and of course my postal stamps have to go on there. I also add a little quote, and then I saw my project. I was like, no, I need a little bit more washi tape. So I added a little bit more washi tape to the front cover of this folio, and that was my project. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about how to make the folio, leave them down below in the description box. I will happily answer them. Don't forget to check out VectoriaDesigns to get this kit right now, because now is release day. To get it right now, there's also a free gift for you down below in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up. I would also love it if you consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Put the notification bell on all notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. You can also become a patron of mine for exclusive content. Link to that is also down below in the description box. Don't forget to check out VectoriaDesigns, and thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you all next time. Bye!